Yeah. 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 Yep. Welcome back, everyone. We are back in the familiar conference. Everything is starting to look brighter. We're about to have Daylight Savings Day coming up soon. The Kickers are about to play. And that quickly I ran out of good news. Hopefully the Kickers doesn't run out of good news because we need all of it. It's good to be back. We've done a couple of preseason episodes. We've done some articles coming out. Please make sure you support us at rivercity93.com. And just also make sure you donate at ko-fi.com/rivercity93 if you love all this content and more. But I say all of that to introduce these two lovely people that are on my screen and on your screen, or you're listening to their voices in your car. It is Mr. Matt Myers, Mr. Kate, and Mrs. Kate. I said Miss Kate like you were married. Miss Kate, how are y'all doing?
Good.
I'm here, ready to be hurt again.
Yeah.
Hopefully not hurt. You know, we're gonna be good this year. We're gonna hope for the best. You know, there's a lot of change, a lot of differences, things that we haven't seen yet. So hopefully that.
Where would we be without your optimism, Elliot?
I don't know because I try to find it.
I mean, probably go see some of the episodes when he wasn't there, just me and Kate, and it's not a good look when I'm having to play the role of optimist. It's not what I'm meant for.
And yeah, contrary to I guess what the Kickers bring out of me, I'm a pretty optimistic person in basically every other area of my life. But this team has turned into a realist.
The Kickers, you are like very happy. Outside of that, everything else, Kate is like, it's great, y'all.
Well, it's like we were just discussing Ted Lasso because some hot USL One news that we'll get to, but they say it's the hope that kills you, and I've had the hope kill me many, many times. So I feel like I have like walls up where I can't be optimistic. I can't let the hope kill me again. I have to get out ahead of it.
Yeah. And this is our first show where I think it's all three of us since the season ended, because I've done one with Matt, I did one with Kate, so now all three of us together. So how has the offseason been for y'all? Like, what did y'all do to decompress from what was the 2025 Richmond Kickers?
I spent my Sundays with a lot of Sunday nights when we didn't have to record this podcast watching Oscar-nominated movies. So that was nice to do something constructive that made my brain think.
Yeah, and I bet the Kickers had a better winning percentage than those movies because those movies only hit like 10%.
That's true.
Right? See, Kickers greater than movies, proven fact.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Well, a lot of offseason news did happen with the Kickers. We've kind of already covered a lot of stuff, but I think the biggest one that we are here to talk about is Griffin Garnett, this young center back prospect for the Richmond Kickers. Guy sold for a six-figure fee to, I'm not even going to attempt their name.
But what? Do it.
Barry Carlos? I feel like that's nowhere near it.
Sounds right to me.
My best guess is like Ferencváros, but I don't know.
F-word Hungarian team. There we go.
He's in Hungary now.
Yeah, he's in Hungary now. Also, we talked to his dad. We also did a whole article on him, which Alex Ashton put up on our website. So if you want to hear how his move went, what the whole process of all that, make sure you go to rivercity93.com. I got to get back in get out of preseason form. I got to be better at this. Go check out the article there. Pretty much all I'm saying. But what are your thoughts on the move? Does this prove proof of concept for Darren, for one, and two, like, where do the Kickers go from here as far as that pipeline goes?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, great news for everybody involved, right? It surprised me. Like, I did not have him going to the Hungarian league on my bingo card. I figured it was going to be lower division, Germany, lower division, Netherlands, something like that, just based off of where we would see coaching staff and team off season little highlights come from, and also pretty standard pathway for a lot of American players. Like I can think maybe like one or two other Americans that have ever dipped through Hungary, and they had like a stop or two in Europe before that.
Yeah.
And also this is the team in Hungary, too.
Mm-hmm.
So like most of the other European leagues, like it's a one or two team league, most of the time, and they're the one, or in a bad year they're the two. So there's promise there. I mean, he's going to have to earn it, like anywhere else. Young guy, coming in 19 years old, maybe didn't have the greatest year last year, but he still made his way over there. So he's going to have to fight for minutes, earn his minutes. He's literally on the same team as Naby Keita now. So very different career trajectories for those two. But I mean, I think it's better than I think any Kickers fan could have realistically dreamed of. I mean, 6 figures, and if all goes well, more figures coming in the future. I've never been. I've heard Budapest is a amazing place. I also hear the language is like absolutely hard as shit to be able to learn. Hopefully, you can at least get passable there. But I can think of worse ways to be able to spend your college aged years.
Yeah.
Agree.
Even his dad said he is still getting his degree, though. I think through Bellevue.
Mm-hmm.
He's still getting his degree for free. I don't know what in, but yeah, still getting a degree. So there's a fallback plan if the Hungarian first team division doesn't work out.
Yeah. Well, I think. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say, even if it doesn't work out there, you've got to think that there's plenty of guys where it doesn't work out for you at the big dog in Hungary. You kind of funnel down and out and around to and other random European teams. So
yeah,
good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting because obviously this is a huge success for player development, even if maybe his trajectory was opportunistic. He was able to slide into the starting 11 due to an injury to who we all thought was going to be the starting center back a couple seasons ago. So there was a little bit of opportunity. He took his opportunity well, but it wasn't. It's hard to say whether or not that was the plan from the outset, that he would get that many minutes, and that has now led him to this place. And what's also interesting is it's the same season that they're stopping the academy team. So it is a little interesting that the narrative that we were told for the past 2 seasons about the economic trajectory of the club was going to be transitioning to developing youth players, sort of attempting to maybe mimic the Dortmund model, to now seeming proof of concept of the model that you could give a young, talented player the opportunity, he'd take in it, and it would lead to a transfer. But instead, seemingly, I guess we'll have to see what youth development looks like without an academy team, but I do think that timing is interesting. Obviously, the youth academy preceded Griffin's sale, so it's hard to say the impact one had on the other. But I just think it's interesting that we saw this very, very difficult thing to do, which is develop a young player and actually sell them off to their next step. That is very, very, very difficult, very rare to do. And yet the pathways for that Griffin took is changing for current youth players affiliated with the Kickers. So it'll be it's interesting. It's interesting. We seem to be getting mixed messages over the last couple seasons about what this youth development looks like, what is being prioritized, and the impact it has on the senior team, because it's a little confusing. We were told one thing, and now that was presented as a justification.
Times
Possibly.
are changing, Kate.
Things are different now.
It's times are changing. I mean, it's also going to be interesting to see because we know this year there's not going to be an official U20 team. Like they're still going to have the ECNL team and whatnot, but they're scaling back the U20 team. And the reason that we were told was that for that was because they want to put money aside to build their own training ground. If you've been following the club, you know they kind of been nomads and where they're training at and whatnot. You know, there's a big fallout with Ucrop Park, which is weird because like our owner is Robert Ucrop, and that's like his named after his dad. So the fact that there's a fallout there is huge. So the team is training at various places. So that I think that is the next step. If you want to look and see what the club is kind of going towards next, is like having their own training ground where they can kind of do stuff in house and have their own space and that. So we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, more than anything else, just go back to how it was. We had 2 years of a U20 team. Let's be real. If we watched some of those games, it was good players, except for the North Carolina game playing against crap players who are never going anywhere in their career. I'm sure they can probably find a way to get their top end guys 3 other good games a year.
Right. If I had my way, I would love to see us go to the USL 2 route. Kind of just, I understand the purpose of having a U20 team, but it just always felt like a weird kind of gap because if guys get called up, but they're not really getting consistent, like Landon Johnson, like USL 2 probably would have helped out with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Nick Simmons did that before his season at UVA.
Yeah, like I feel like that's kind of like where this team kind of need to look at next. But it's hard to have that, especially a USL 2 team, if you don't have a training ground where players can consistently train at and, have that have to play it. But that's a whole podcast for a whole nother day. So got to move along because I don't want to keep driving to that. New Jersey.
We'll see what the excuse this season is for what the on-field. We've heard all the other ones in the past, so we've moved on from those. The club has moved on from those, and so now it's time for a new set of justifications for.
We will see. We will see. New jerseys. So obviously we know the home jersey is dropping this week for reasons we can't show it on here, but on Wednesday, you probably see all our reactions to it. What I would say was if you were at the season ticket holder event, it gives the vibe of another team in England. I'll let you decide what team that is. But it is a nice jersey. I like it. It also, if you just want to have an imagination of this, if you go back and look at the 2020 home jersey and just add a collar, it very much looks like that.
21.
21, my fault. Yeah, 21 jersey. It very much looks like that. So yeah, use your imagination there. But
if you know Kate, you might know she's super hyped about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was planning. I need a new red jersey. Emmy signed my old red jersey, so I don't have one right now because that one's going in a frame. And I thought maybe, oh great, they're making a new red home kit. Perfect. Not perfect, and I will not be purchasing.
So that's one boycott that we know of already for that jersey. So we did get to see the away jersey, which is fairly nice. And it also got to see it in person. I'm about to pull up on screen so people can see what I am talking about. But seeing it in person, I think was always my biggest concern. And I will say that the club has learned from their past mistakes. Because I haven't looked old one from last year. They did something with the badge. It actually has weight to it. So now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kate, because you saw it as well. It is printed, like hot pressed on there, but it doesn't feel sloppy. Like it feels actually good. Where this one is like screen printed on here. And if for those who didn't notice, like you can see the stitching. It looks very like rushed. This looks nice. It actually looks very nice, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I work in communications for my job. So my work, I was very impressed with this rollout of this jersey, especially since we've seen the club gesture at a concept for a jersey, like the iced out kit which was supposed to be like a streetwear concept, that like the gesturing at the kit having deeper meaning, or like with the rebrand when they're like the interlocking letters signify how close we are, where you're like, okay. But this one, you can tell how much planning went into this. And I was really impressed. The fact that we haven't seen them do a photo shoot on location anywhere. That's not just, the iced out kit always stands out in my mind, that because that was done at the VMFA and it was just the Kickers players wandering around the VMFA. It looked pretty, but like there's not much, concept there except for the fact that imagine yourself at the VMFA wearing the iced out kit, which, okay, that's not much of a concept. But
this was streetwear that nobody wore.
Exactly. But this, they thought through every single detail. They even brought in, models who are not the players on the team, which added a really thoughtful touch. So I just was really impressed at the level of detail that went into not just the kit, but the rollout. And you can obviously see how well it's worked in terms of the promotional jerseys they sent out to different like kit reviewers and people with connections to the club. That really elevated the attention that this drop had. So I was just pretty impressed that it was a level of detail we haven't seen in kit drops in a very, very long time. And we have a 3rd of July game this year. So I imagine that they have plans for that tied to this jersey.
Yeah, for real. You can tell what jersey is Kate's favorite. Matt, what's your thoughts on it? Any thoughts on it or anything? Which one are you leaning towards more?
I mean, I've only seen one. What do you mean?
Oh, well, okay. Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
This one looks cool. I still want to see like 11 guys running around in the field, and just to make sure that you can really see red numbers on this, blue and black. I think I'm just not to go back to our favorite whipping horse here, the ice out kit, but we all remember one of the issues with that was you couldn't tell who was who on the field until you knew what their haircuts were.
But they looked so cool on the street, Matt.
Yeah, I'm just a little battle scarred that could end up being the same thing, again. So I hope I'm wrong. I really genuinely do, and then we can just move along from that. But they look fine. Like personally, I don't really care about the little stitching in the inside, of the collar, any of that nonsense. Like stuff that's too close up, too tight, whatever. Yeah.
I was trying to see if they had a photo of like the full.
I want to be able to see like how it's going to really pair with the shorts and the socks.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that does make a difference in how it plays, overall. But in essence, blue and black stripes. I mean, you can't go too wrong with the Inter Milan look, to anything. So.
No.
And the best part about this is, once I looked on the website and realized it was the away jersey and not just the jersey, because they didn't really make a point of saying that when they rolled it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So at first I was like, "Are you serious? You're not doing red again." Once I saw that, I was like, "Okay, fine. It's not white."
I know that's the biggest thing. It's not white. Like we have your creed of being white Tiffany jersey.
Yeah. Now I bet there's going to end up being a game or two where it's going to make for a nasty clash out there, because we will. I guess our red one will be the light colored shirt. Yeah. But we'll deal with that when the time comes.
The only clash might be Boise, because they have a dark home jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Omaha had there's like black and white and like piss colored striped shirts last year. Who knows what's going to come out of there? Chattanooga, if they don't do a white away one, like that could end up being a little messy. So,
I don't think Omaha has dropped jerseys yet, which I found funny. I don't think maybe I missed it, but I don't think a lot of teams have.
That's not our problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. I'm just looking to see like who does this jersey not mesh so well with, but that's once again that's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. So yeah, New Jersey's when it's nice to have like the blue be like the away red.
Yeah.
I'm missing to see what they do with the third kit.
One last thing I will say about what
Yeah.
Kate said about the rollout to everything. Yeah, I saw it get out to all the influencers and, as you say, put it people in the kicker's orbit. Didn't get out to everybody in the kicker's orbit. I'm just putting that out there.
That is true. Camp, you want to send some jerseys our way. Just saying. We can debut the third kit for you.
Maybe right. We'll do it live. We'll host a live podcast.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's our way.
We'll have our people talk to their people.
Pretty much that's about it. Send an email and wait 6 months and they'll be like, oh, we saw it. Which means you said no. We didn't say anything. We'll just see. We'll see. Also in league news, and this has kind of been the hot point outside of what the USL PA has been talking about that really affects our league. South Georgia Tormenta's exit. They have weeks before USL League One started decided we can't pay for insurance, so we're not going to have a team. Which, as Matt loved to say, convenient. 2 weeks.
I thought you were going to go for my other preferred line. It's Tormenta.
Oh man, Matt, I'm gonna start off with you because this is the team that you love the most in a weird way. Overall, what does Tormenta mean? What does it mean for Tormenta to drop out 2 weeks before the season start for USL League One? But then also, like, what's the impact of it not only on the league structure but also like schedule wise? What do you think?
Yeah, so obviously it's bad all the way around. I think the worst look is actually on the league itself because there's no way that this suddenly popped up out of nowhere right now. Unless you just had the world collapse, and that happened 6 years ago, not this year, and we all found our way through it at that point. So you're telling me that the league didn't have an inkling that something might be a little fishy, weird might be going on at the end of last year. Everybody knew that Tormenta was shoestringed before that. Like, that was not necessarily a tight secret. It was kind of just a open knowledge, like, hey, they're running low budget operations down there. We've heard stories about player housing being interesting in the past, things like that. So if you had told me in November, hey, Tormenta's not coming back, that sucks. Not too surprised. Happening the middle of February, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. And especially for an organization that, I don't care what they say, they're trying to compete against, MLS. They want that, bigger, spotlight, and you're having a team drop 2 weeks before, the season starts. That's an unprofessional look. And there's no other way around it. They're going to, just sweep it under the rug and just not acknowledge anything happened, because that's what they do, and they'll just, do the next shiny object thing over here to try to distract everybody. But it's a bad situation for league wide. Everybody loses two games, a home game and an away game. So they got a little bit lucky that this year they actually had a fully balanced schedule already. So it's not a matter of, oh, well, Chattanooga, you were assigned to play them 4 times because they were right down the road from you. Let's figure out how to do the math on fixing this for everybody real fast. Thankfully, they dodged that. I mean, it sucks for some of the teams. I think like Spokane was supposed to have their first game of the season down there. Hopefully, they are able to. I mean, they've got stupid money based off the players that they've been signing, but still not an insignificant amount of money that they probably already dropped in the airfare and everything else. Hopefully, they can get that sorted. Same with whoever else is scheduled to play down there early in the season. And for us, lose a couple games. So
yeah.
So talking to Camp at the preseason game, that's when the word kind of started building up at the VC preseason game. Things that we definitely know that are happening now is that players are being released. They're going to do more severance pay. And Alex Ashton, again, one of our great writers, wrote an article in USL League One kind of outlining the top prospects of that South Georgia Tormenta team.
No, he just did everybody.
Yeah.
Like the crap players and the good ones.
Yeah, he did everyone. What was it? 16 players in total, I believe, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So what this also means is not only does Tormenta drop out, who, that's another league original, because I think now is that 2 teams that started 2019 that's folded? Lansing being the first and then them?
Yeah.
I know we had Noco and Fuego in there, and FC Tucson, so that's 3.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't fold; they just went down to USL 2.
Yeah, went down to USL.
Which I mean, basically.
Yeah. I would say that is even more concerning, the fact that they didn't even consider doing USL League One. I mean, League 2. They were just like stopping everything, pretty much going to a youth club again. It also means the women's team is gone. And I think the League 2 team is gone now. So,
yeah.
That is concerning. Okay, I'm gonna come to you with this. Is there any player, position that you would pull from South Georgia Tormenta to input into the kickers?
Well, Alex luckily answered this question for me. He had a couple guys who he had, through his exhaustive reporting, thank you, Alex, had identified as what he considered the 2 top prospects. So if I'm allowed to copy someone else's homework, I'll say who they are. The 2 that stood out for him were Andrew Booth, who has spent time in the championship. So, started out in USL 1, moved to the championship, is now moved back down to come to Tormenta. So someone with not just League One experience, but league championship experience is always useful and sometimes in short supply. And then the other is Dario Zanata, who came from the Canadian Premier League, but is a product of the Scottish Premier League. So we do love players with international experience. They always come with a little, I guess some of them come with a little bit of additional hunger because they want to prove that they're not washed. And that's why they're not in their origin leagues anymore. So both of those are ones that have good levels of contributions. They've got resumes of interest. So I guess we'll see which, I don't know how much leverage a player has in this kind of situation where suddenly you're completely out of contract as a free agent. Our team's just waving contracts at you and you get your pick of the litter, or, have you completely lost leverage and you're hoping someone's going to call? So I guess we'll see what negotiating talents the kickers are able to bring to the table for those.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, are the guys, if they take their release, they get their severance pay? Is that like dependent? Could they double up and be able to get their 3-month severance and then sign for somebody the very next day? And
yeah, I think so. I will hope so. I don't think this is like WCW folding and all the good wrestlers are just waiting, be like, yeah, I don't have to wrestle for 2 years because I'm so loaded. And WWE BSing the invasion angle with like C and D tier list players. No, I don't think there's a case of that.
Yeah. The other thing I wonder are any of these teams able to just say, hey, we'll pick up that contract as is, and they just go that way?
Right.
Or because I don't know how that would necessarily work sometimes. Like Statesboro, probably not the highest cost of living. So imagine you sign a deal to go there, and then your contract just transfers directly to go have to play like Westchester.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I feel like
probably different mechanisms. I think it's probably easier ways. Just a straight release and re-sign. They had some names though, like they signed Sean Lewis off of Knoxville. Like, I don't think we're in the market for a keeper, but he's obviously clear, number 1 in this league. If anybody's still looking to upgrade there, Nick Spielman was at Charlotte the last few years, center back.
That's what I would, with Griffin moving on, I would really look at that one.
Yeah, so that's one. I like the idea of Booth, because I think we could probably use another body in the midfield. So him, like they had signed Luca Dorado, who scoring goals for Madison on loan last year. They had the Bazzini, kid who was a forward, for them last year and scored a decent number of goals. So they had some players. They just didn't pay them.
I just don't have a team, unfortunately.
And if we really want to solve our training issues, they got the dirt pile. Sign the dirt pile. Bring our beloved baby home to Richmond. Build the foundation, of the Tormenta training ground. Pile forever.
Yeah,
we will. Its absence will be lost. If it is really too bad that we won't even have an opportunity to memorialize the dirt pile because they will not be coming to City Stadium. Like, who is addressing it? Why did no one think about this before making this decision?
R.I.P. dirt pile. R.I.P. I'm gonna miss it. I'm also gonna miss that line of every time we win there, it's Tormenta. Great, best memes we produced in a while.
And we've also taken 3 points off our final season total. We couldn't afford to lose those 3.
No, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but it's better than other teams where they were getting 6 points off of them.
Yeah, this is also true.
Came out ahead.
You say we're going to come out better.
Yeah. Right. We'll see. All right. So first game of the season is happening. We also know there's also a US Open Cup matchup on the 17th.
Yes, St. Patrick's Day.
So we know we have that coming up. We also know that the game that. So the reason why these Tormenta games kind of work out in our favorite is because now the club isn't going to I know some teams who play them later in the year, they were going to reschedule like friendlies or
something.
I think Camp was throwing out a suggestion. They were looking at doing like the thing that the ACC did. Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but like UVA and NC State played a game, but it didn't count towards like the ACC season. It was just treated as a non-conference game, but Camp said they're not doing that pretty much because they want to have the weeks. Like, they don't want to bombard the middle of the season with, like, a meaningless game and someone get hurt. Kind of take the rest when they need it, and I'm not against that. So we only play the one game now. March 7th, and then there's a 10-game break leading up to the U.S. Open Cup game, which I'm not against. But March 7th, I'm assuming ESPN Plus, 10:30 at night, we are opening up against AV Alta, the team who brought Tiki Taka to USL League One. Like, that team will pass that ball regardless if they are winning or losing. They are staying committed to that build-up play. So, y'all, okay, I'll come to you first. Tactically, how do you think what is the best approach for the Kickers to go out there and hopefully win this game and not embarrass us?
Well, from Darren's tactical perspective, I'm sure he's already got his excuses lined up. Tactically speaking, this is a great start for him. He's got long travel to hang his hat on. He's got our first game of the season, still building chemistry. So from a tactical perspective, Darren is set regardless of what the outcome of this match is. But from what we might actually see on the field, I will say I don't know because we got to see the Kickers play once in preseason. Mm-hmm. It didn't inspire much of anything in our hearts besides a beautifully taken set piece by
Austin
Amer, however you pronounce his very short last name. And AV Alta, they might not get a lot of credit for it, but are a tough place to go. They've got very loud, dedicated fans. They've got more of them than some other teams. And as you say, they like to pass. And we've seen defensive-minded kickers teams for several seasons. And that has not actually led them to stop the ball from going in the goal. Simply put. So setting up a low block against a team that likes to pass is not necessarily okay. We got some new players, but that doesn't inspire much confidence in me. So I'm sure you all have much more tactical acumen to bring to this analysis, but my pessimism is
still strong.
It's starting early. I will say the group of players had a little bit more fight to them in the match against VCU. That
VCU player slapped. I forgot who, but like how he reacted, and I was proud.
So that's a dimension that Darren might be looking to play up this season. So against Twinkle Toes, maybe that's you just rough them up a bit and their toes look less twinkly. So maybe that will be his instructions. Go out there and push them around a bit, and we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. We didn't get much of a window to see what this team's strengths are. I say that with an S. I hope that there's more than one.
Matt, like you said, like we haven't seen a lick of this team outside of a preseason friendly against VCU. We haven't got to see this team in person, so we haven't been able to see our eyes. Like, what did this team do well in? I could not tell you right now what a formation looks like, or B.
Come on, yes, you can.
I'm not gonna lie, I was still struggling in the VCU game to tell like who was playing where, and that's mostly because I don't know faces yet.
And they were switching, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a lot of switch, a lot of overloads.
Right, but how long we've been talking about this team?
I mean, yeah, it's a 4-3-3.
Right,
it is. If that's what their base is going to be. Or no, let me correct it. A 4-1-4-1. We'll get that thrown at us. But yeah, like it seems like Dak is going to be the CDM, so I have to just live in that truth. I have to live in it. We have 2 black fullbacks, which if you were not in the preseason game, I was fairly excited for.
Mm-hmm. That's huge for us. That really is.
Well, the bigger question all of us were trying to figure out is how did you not realize this sooner?
Because in my head, one of them was a center back, so I was just like, oh, okay, they're the center back, like that's what it is. But no, they were on the fullbacks. They were bombing. I will say this though, like I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. The Jeb, who was from Nigeria, Houston. He's a little interesting because he was playing the fullback. He was like pushing into infield, like wherever the kickers have possession. Also, Kate, you're probably don't say you have technical insight. You do. You just coach the kickers that come from behind win, switching from a 4-4-2 to a 3-2-3-2. And I will say there were moments where the Jeb was doing it, where he was pushing in the midfield beside Dak to provide cover, so it formed like a 3-2, like almost like a funnel shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's part of me that is like, okay, if this team is going to get wins and look good and do well, maybe it is kind of leaning into like being defensively competent.
Because we've said that every season for 3 seasons.
Well, no, last year it was just ineptitude. Like it was ineptitude. Like it was horrible.
And in full fairness, they addressed some of the key issues that we kept pounding the drum about. Like these guys all look a lot faster than the group last year.
Yeah,
physically bigger, like taller, looks stronger. Like we don't have too many guys who look like they fall over with a nice gust of wind or anything. A little bit as you guys mentioned a minute ago. It's one game, but it looks like might have a little bit more of a mean streak in them as well. So I don't think we're gonna get bullied on the field. Doesn't mean can't make mistakes, and there's no way for us to know yet if we're going to get another round of oh, here, good sir, have the ball on a free breakaway to goal. Some of that nonsense that we dealt with at times before, but at least some of the controllable issues have been addressed, have been fixed.
Yeah. And I mean, this team is still winning. I think Panzier, the guy we signed from Marshall, literally, I think the night of the, what was it? Of the where we saw the home jersey. He literally just got in town because of passport issues. So that's another attacker being added. Yeah. Talking to Darren, like other podcasters who are now doing like their preseason podcasts and hearing like how bad these immigration issues is, or people coming back, it is insane. And it really just makes me think like this FIFA World Cup is about to be horrendous. Like it is going to be horrible.
You're just not
That's
thinking
another
that.
podcast for a whole nother day. Back to the kickers at hand. I don't want to have our show get canceled. Not going to touch that with
By who?
You're right. But I'm not going to go there. I'll save those thoughts for another day. Another podcast. But back to the kickers. I'm just... If you offer me a 1-1 draw right now, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm. That would equal 50% of our preseason goal accumulation. So I would take that.
I will take that. Also, on top of that, like I want to see this team. If I can see this team do these three things, I think I'll be fine. Like be aggressive, create some decent opportunities, like where we're actually threatening their goalkeeper, and be competent on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk away with that and be fine. And then take the next 10 days. Hopefully there's no snow. And this team just gets to train. And they can go guns blazing against Northern Virginia, which, if I remind people, I think we played them actually the year we won the title?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, that history could be on our side.
Mm-hmm.
We played them. And this team, they might have to sacrifice a winger. So Darwin Espinal might have to get sacrificed for this game, like Bologna's did. And this team just chugs along to a title. That would be some weird black magic.
I'd rather maybe be a little more comfortable of a game against them this time around.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, we don't want to fight like afterwards on the way down the tunnel.
I mean, that was amusing to watch. Being there, but
I wish I would have went to that game.
That's a you problem.
I know. I wish I would have gone to that game. But yeah, I mean, the team gets a 10-day break before they play their next opponent. So,
I think for me, a good outcome is going to be a clear identification of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if it was effective right from day one, of course. But we can be able to watch it and be able to see, okay, they want to be able to do X. They want to really be able to try to use Kirkland in this way this year. Niels is really trying to pop into these spots a little bit. That'd be nice. Pop into these spots a little bit more. Chris Moore is able to provide that a combo of what Hornsby and Maxey and Monty and all those other guys did. He's one of those kind of left backs. It's like I think seeing those pieces, assuming like we don't get smashed while seeing those pieces, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I think I said in our preseason show, like it's on Niels to kind of be the driving force of this midfield. It's on him. We know what Dak is going to give you. I'm interested to see who they pair beside Niels, like who's going to be the cleanup guy for him. Mm-hmm. It might be, I'm not going to lie and try to think of a name. So it'd be interesting to see who's going to be his partner in midfield. And then in attack, like who's going to be the one to kind of take things by the reins. I will stand by it. I think this is like Kirkland's breakout year. I think and I also believe that because of Brian Ownby being paired with him. I think this is Kirkland's breakout year. Like he already had his breakout year, but like you get what I'm saying. Like this is the year where he firmly established himself as a proper 9 in this league. And then on defense, like who becomes another voice. I will say this: Jan, our goalkeeper, big boy, loves to yell. Loves a good yell. Like, so that's good. There's no more timidness.
Does not mince his words either.
Oh no, he doesn't. Nicest guy off the field, but does not miss those words. And granted,
he also, aside
No,
on Jan, he said he told Nicole at the preseason event that this is the first team that he's ever played in where there's not another French-speaking player. So we all have to supply the French language for him from Section O because he is linguistically isolated.
I mean, does Nicole speak French?
She is on Duolingo.
So how did he tell her all this then? You know,
well, he speaks
English
too, but he's the lone French speaker in the team.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like looking back at this team, there's a lot of firsts for this team. Like there's not a lot of Latino players.
True.
There's more Black players than years past.
Who will actually be playing?
There we go. Key part there. There's 3 of us this year on the team. There's 3 of us. So I'm like, all right. Found this out. This is I think under Darren tenure, I don't know how I have to go back and look in 2019, but this is the first no Muslim player on. We have one is a trainee, but Majeb is Muslim, so he's experienced Ramadan right now. I don't think we've had anyone before to experience Ramadan that I know of since covering the team.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see if the league handles, because it doesn't end. We were looking it up. It ends on the second week of March, so at least the first round of matches will, depending on time zone.
Well,
yeah, and I remember it last year.
It's a 7:30 game, so
are they all? Well,
no, they go up until the sunset.
There's 6 p.m. kickoffs anywhere.
I don't care about
maybe
games.
Some of the early games.
Well, yeah, not saying our team, but like it is interesting because I think Ramadan is like, I don't know if the league has overlapped with it before. Has it?
I'm sure at some point.
At some point, but USL 1, it'll be interesting to see if they have, because a lot of other, like all the other leagues, will have the fast break so that players can break their fast. Like,
yeah, which if there is a break for those fans of opposing team, don't be like Leeds, and boo through it.
Not USL 1. If we hear one single boo, trust this podcast will come to your house.
Yeah.
And say,
make you watch Malcolm X on repeat.
Trust.
Which, by the way, is a great movie. I highly recommend everyone watching it, especially with Black History Month, Black History Year still going on.
We already established kickers greater than movies.
Yeah, pretty much. There we go. Which, by the way, like, who was it? Snen asked for movie recommendations, so I should DM and be like, "Hey, I need you to watch all these Black films, learn them."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a new thing at first. I think the biggest thing is for the kickers is to not go out there and look horrifically bad. Like, if you can avoid that, great.
But even if they do, remember what happened first game last year?
Yeah, this team
won.
Smashed Tormenta.
Oh,
yeah, we did. And there were still warning signs there.
Oh yeah. Given those 2 goals were troubling, but we thought the offense was going to be buzzing.
Yeah,
and it was like a complete back to movies. It's like Two-Face. Flip the coin. And, every game, find out, do we get offense today or do we not get offense today?
I think I ran the numbers at the end of the season, and there was like 4 games in the season that accounted for like at least 2/5 of the entire, if not more than that, of all the goals scored the entire season. It was like the Westchester game, that one, and like one other.
I believe it.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, like Omaha away, like they put up probably 4 or 5 times.
And that was like, yeah, close to like half of all the goals scored the entire season. The
Yeah.
rest of the entire season was like the same amount of goals.
Yeah, sound about right. All right. So real quick, we're gonna play some. I'm gonna ask you guys some quick fire questions to get you guys' opinion on stuff. So, first question, Matt, I'm coming to you first. Who will be the top goal scorer this year and why?
Tyler Freeman.
Okay. Why?
Because he's going to score more goals than the other guys.
All right. Fair enough. I'll take that. Kate, this question is coming to you. Who will be the defensive leader on this team and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think a case could be made for Sean Vinberg. Obviously, Dak's the easy answer. He's the captain, but his role obviously is not as purely defensive as it has been in the past. But Vinberg, I mean, he's got experience, he's got seniority. He's got a little, he's coming from, his previous experience at Portland, which was, I'm sure, a little bonkers. So hopefully he's got a little bit to prove that his experience at Richmond, he can reach the same levels and bring this team to a similar level of performance. So I'd say it'd be nice to see a veteran like that step up and have a defensive leadership role.
Okay. Matt, coming to you with this one. Oh, how was I going to phrase this question? I forgot it. Okay. What has to happen for the Kickers to get a playoff game this year?
Had to be better at home. Way too many points given away at home the last few years. Lock those down. Win 60% of your home games, get draws, and another 25% of those go a long way towards that. And then steal some results against the whoever ends up being the crap teams. Whether it's a Corpus Christi, if it's Westchester again, some of those on the road, and you can start to build towards a playoff spot.
Okay. Kate, this question is for you. What's more likely to happen? The Kickers have a better scoring output or a better defensive record?
That's a tough one. Mostly because both have been bad in seasons past. So it's kind of like which one will be less bad rather than we obviously have to hope both are passable to fine. I guess looking at who we've brought in, I think the argument could be made that our defensive outfit has been strengthened more than our offensive output. We're still relying on a couple of the same guys, and then, we brought in one or two, but nobody who's head and shoulders. And now that Darwin's injured, and we don't know what that situation will be like, if he misses the first 3 months of the season. So I would say I have more questions about what the offense will look like, especially over the fact that over their 4 preseason matches, they scored 2 goals, one of which was a set piece, a direct free kick. So I'd say based on what we know right now, I would think we tighten up defensively compared to recent seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, just looking back to last year, really easy to forget. This team actually tied for 5th for most goals scored in the league.
Probably those bonkers games where a bunch of goals were scored.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Only Texoma and Westchester led in more. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, defense is like the safe bet to have the better improvement.
Yeah.
There you go.
But, I'd take scoring a few fewer goals in bonkers games that end up in draws to maybe like winning a couple more matches.
There you go. Matt, I'm going to ask you this question. What youth player is more likely to take the next leap in this team? Like going the Griffin Garnett route?
Are you giving me choices, or are you just asking?
Oh, I thought you were. Well, okay. Let me give you the choice.
You said which one?
Okay. Like down there. Landon Johnson, Beckett Howe, Andrew Richmond.
I mean, it'd be an interesting conundrum if it's Richmond because he's set to head off to Georgetown, midway through the year. So if he makes that leap, do you go to school? Do you bounce straight over to a European team? Do you sign here and do something? That's probably the most fun option out of the group, just to be able to see the what if of it all.
Just for the drama.
Also James Sneddon. Forgot to throw him in there. I knew there was another one.
I don't think it's him. Let's go Landon, mostly because it seems like there's a lot of good competition in the back. Like we saw Beckett look pretty good at center back towards the end of last year, but as of right now, it seems like he's competing for the left back spot with Chris Moore because brought in a number of center backs. Also, it's harder to immediately stand out at that position. Landon, for right or wrong, plays at more of a glory chasing position out on the wing.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a clear front runner for that right winger spot right now, so he might be able to latch on and take it. Maybe it's wish casting, maybe it's hoping that's the answer, but I'll go Landon.
Okay. Kate, what if you had to bet on this happening? What are you more likely to bet on? The Kickers upsetting an MLS team in the U.S. Open Cup, or the Kickers winning a home playoff game?
Would we draw DC United?
It could be any MLS team. But what do you bet more on? What are you willing to bet on? You had to bet on one.
I would bet on the Kickers beating DC United than I would earning a home playoff spot.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah. I'm sorry. The consistency over the course. Anybody can win in a 90-minute match. That's the beauty of the sport. And if there's one group of people in the DMV who's having a worse time of it than Kickers fans, it's DC United fans. So
they've looked competent in 2 games so far.
It's the hope that kills you, isn't it?
I didn't say competent.
There you go. Well, I think that does it for us, y'all. I mean, look, everyone, it's going to be a late kickoff. I think the Kickers are doing a watch party for the game. So if you, I don't know where they're doing the watch. Oh,
Triple Crossing is staying open. Oh, no, 3 Notched. Sorry, don't go to Triple Crossing. 3 Notched. I always mix them up. 3 Notched is staying open late. So, and hopefully they've actually informed their bartenders this time, because one time they stayed open a little past close and did not tell their bartenders.
And just a reminder to everybody, it's a 10:30 kickoff, and it's daylight savings this weekend, so have fun.
Wish you the best of luck. I'll be watching the game at a ball, so that's going to be interesting how I'm going to pull that off.
Love. My parents are visiting this weekend, so I don't know if I'll end up catching it.
That'd be fun. I wanted to do a watch along for this game, but obviously that would happen. So we'll do that watch along on another game.
Are we skipping the biggest question of the day?
What? Maybe
Elliot.
What's up?
Where do the Kickers finish in 2026?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to be optimistic. 6th place. But 3 points off of 4th. Like, we're right there fighting for that home game. We get 6.
Okay. We need this manifestation. How many teams are in the league now?
17.
17. My apologies.
I truly do think this team will be better than what we had last year. And I'm not saying the guys who last year on the team were bad or anything. I think there was just a rot that inevitably happened.
Okay. Yeah.
And it could go one or two ways. Like, this team gets 6. Like, I'm predicting they are. Darren reestablishes goodwill with the fan base. Darren reestablishes his ability. The last 2 years or year and a half truly were just a bad fluke where things outside of his control happen. And we move on and we get better from it and we have a good foundation to build upon. The other reality to that is the team doesn't make the playoff. Darren already knows he's on the hot seat. Darren is out. And this team are not locked into any long-term contracts outside of what Landon and I think Darwin. And you go into the 2027 offseason fresh and you build it how you want to.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for a 6th-place finish and a playoff win. Really, what I want this year is to get to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and finally win in Chattanooga.
You don't ask for much.
And that's it. That's all I want. That's all I want. I want that before Chattanooga folds. I have to beat that team. I need to beat that team at Chattanooga.
Fair.
That's it. All right. Well, since I've answered it, Matt, what about you, sir?
Did Kate actually give her number, or did she just talk around it?
Come on,
Kate. Number, how many? 17 we landed on?
Yeah.
13th.
Okay. So 13th. All right.
I was going back and forth between 11th and 12th. Like,
you could put a points off prediction like Elliot did.
sure, 5 points.
5 points off.
Yeah.
5 points off.
One preseason game, I didn't see anything there that gave me a lot of hope.
Maybe they're hiding it. They didn't want to let
Darwin was injured. We got that. Tarek wasn't there yet. It sounds like they're still trying to figure out a Griffin replacement, which blows my mind because you've been talking about trying to sell him for 2 years. Yeah. How are you not ready for that?
No succession planning.
Well, hey, maybe it's Beckett. maybe
we're about to sign all those guys you just talked about from Tormenta.
Which also, I just want to say this.
You don't want too many of those guys. Tormenta guys.
My fault, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was busy just crapping on Tormenta again. We'll have a chance.
Yeah.
Opportunities are fleeting. Eminem wrote a whole song about that.
Yeah. But I will say we could do what a different USL. This is what I alluded to at the beginning of the show. There's a big news out of USL. Still rumor, as yet unconfirmed, but Locomotive appears set to sign Ted Lasso star Cristo Fernandez, aka Danny Rojas. So I guess we still could have some craziness in our future if we start signing the celebrity footballer on TV route. That could be the season saver for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be all we have left. Once we reach a certain point of the season, that might be all we have left.
All right.
Ooh. Well, hey.
Well, now we're all on the record with how we think this is gonna go.
I'm just waiting for like Sam, Justin, Richard to be like, so 6, huh? You think? And then Darren to be
You said it, Elliot.
Because I didn't like choose them to win the championship. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, like I don't have experience with shading in the press. Like, think our off season's only been like a 3 out of 10, and what do they follow up with? Absolute garbage ass season. Who was right on that one? Yeah, we were. But fans, as always, we'd love to hear from y'all. So let us know on our social medias, which is Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube. Let us know, what are your season predictions? Who do you think is going to be the top goal scorer? Who do you think is going to be the defensive captain? Where do you think the kickers are going to finish this year? And
if you have
one last prediction for you, one last one, the people need to know, who's your Melvin? Who is ascending to the throne? Who is wearing the crown?
Oh man, I don't know yet. I hope we don't have a Melvin.
It's a poison. It's a poison chalice.
Who is wearing the Memorial Calvo cape?
I hope not. The years that I haven't found that player, we have done well. The years that I have found that player haven't been the best. I just put that out there. Hopefully we don't have one, and you don't have to hear me rant about a guy that we signed for Instagram Reels who
check back in April, everybody.
Doing trick shots. You know what? He's a good guy. It's just I still question that signing of why. You know what? That's a podcast for another day. I'm not going to go into that rant. We're not. We're already at hour.
This is what happens when Shanir's not here. Ellie spews hate speech on Haitians.
Oh, God. And they qualify for a world. Okay, no. Not going to do that. Once again, we're going to put positive energy out there. We're not going to do that. All right. So, as always, folks, we just want to say thank you for taking the time of your day to listen to our show. Because without you, we couldn't do this. We wouldn't want to do this. The Kickers are back. It's okay to be optimistic. Or, hey, if you want to be pessimistic like Kate, it's okay to be that way as well. Because, once again, none of us know what is about to happen.
No.
So, as we go along this ride, make sure you follow. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on YouTube, so you can stay up to date on all things Richmond Kickers. Make sure to go to our website, rivercity93.com, where you can go check out the articles on Griffin Garnett. We also have a couple of more articles coming out, catching up with some of the college players, how they're transitioning to the game, and others. So with all that being said, for Matt, for Kate, and myself, we will holler at you guys next time, where hopefully on that Sunday upcoming, on the 8th, we'll be talking about a great Kickers win and daylight savings time. So all that being said, see y'all. Be easy and be